Okay, well, the votes are overwhelming in favor of doing a coffee lesson, so we're gonna do it. Hold on. I need to move some stuff around. I want to actually get a lamp so you can see stuff. Hold on. Wow. Okay, this is gonna be great. All right, y'all. Let's do this. Actually, I'll explain stuff first and then I'll show you. Okay, you guys excited? This is gonna be incredible. These are my beans. It's from Monogram. It's a, wow, local roaster. This is called Bunaboka. It's from Ethiopia. Super light roast. If you guys don't know, dark roast means that it's cooked longer, which means that, in my opinion, they're burnt beans, which means that there's actually about half the amount of caffeine that you would have in the light roast. So when people say dark roast, it doesn't mean that you have a darker, stronger coffee. It means you have a burnt coffee with less caffeine than light roast. So if you look it up, you might think I'm lying. I'm not. Dark roast has less caffeine than light roast. So I always get the lightest roast of beans that I possibly can. I like the coffee better. You can actually taste the notes of it instead of just burnt. But if you're used to really dark or dark roast coffee or whatever, it's not probably gonna, like, you're just used to that flavor, but it's just the flavor of burnt for me. So anyway, I've ground 20 grams of these beans in my grinder in the kitchen. Not gonna bring it over here. So this is the thing that comes out. So as you can see, I use it a lot, but there's 20 grams of beans in here. This is a Chemex. Basically, you have filters. Normally it's paper, but I use this as well. This is basically just like an aluminum filter with really small holes in it. It allows the oil to actually go through the filter fully, and so you'll get a more natural tasting coffee because like all of the stuff from the coffee goes through it. So the bottom little bit of the coffee will have like a little bit of like a granularly taste to it, but I think it just allows you to taste the more natural flavor of the coffee instead of the filter soaking all of that up. So also I have a scale here as well. And so everything is to do with weight and ratio. So here we go. Wow, look at this. This is incredible. Okay, also I have this kettle. So it has like a really pointed tip on there. It's already boiled. And so that allows me to get the water to do exactly what I want it to do. So we're gonna put 20 grams of beans in there. Since these beans are like super fresh, they were just roasted like a week ago, and they're freshly ground. This is like the freshest coffee that you can have. So a lot of the stuff that's like pre-packaged or pre-ground is not gonna do the same thing. But basically I'm gonna put a little bit of water in here and then just like allow it to get wet. When that happens, all of the carbon dioxide that's in there basically will escape it. So a lot of the bitterness that's in the coffee itself will not be in there anymore because of the way that you brew it. So we're just going to leave this for a few seconds, and you'll see it might bubble a little bit as well, which is just the gases escaping from it. So it just allows for a much better tasting coffee. Once I add water to this now, you'll see really fine bubbles come up. If you have an old coffee or a pre-ground coffee or a not high quality coffee, it won't bubble like this. Basically because like it's dead. But as you see this, there'll be like, see the bubbles that come up on top of there? That allows, like, it's basically the gases escaping, but it just means that you have like a really fresh coffee, which allows it to taste a lot better than it would otherwise. And so this is all weighted on the scale. I put 20 grams of beans, and you normally want about a 20-to-1 ratio from coffee to beans. So that's 250. And then we're gonna wait for a minute just for it to go down, and then we're gonna add a little bit more. And then when it's finished brewing, all you'll see is the beans on top. The coffee's going kind of like into the bottom, as you can see. I'll show you later. And then that's pretty much it. So it's like the proper water ratio to beans, the proper type of bean, the proper grind as well. So the more coarse that you grind your beans, the longer or the shorter time it'll take the water to go through. Because if you have a really finely ground coffee, there's no room for the water to go through it, so it'll take a lot longer for it to brew. But also I feel like the flavor isn't as good because it'll taste a lot more like I like dusty almost. Like the coarser that you're able to grind your beans, especially if you make it this way, it's a lot nicer. If you do a different method with making your coffee and you have it as like a filter coffee or in like a large scale coffee maker, finely ground is a little bit better just because of the way that it brews. But something like this, the more coarsely that you grind your coffee, it's just a lot better. So that's pretty much it. We'll let that brew down and then we'll pour it and we're done. Yeah, V60 is basically this exact same thing, but like 1 cup at a time. So this one, because it's so big, as you can see, I can make coffee for probably 4 people at the same time. But V60 is essentially exactly the same thing, but you just only make 1 cup of coffee instead. I am considered a Royal Merchant at my local roaster. I actually helped do the renovations to open up a not-for-profit coffee shop in town, and then I worked there for the first 6 months as well. So how many grams of coffee does it take to get 1 billion in net worth? A lot. I've drank a lot of coffee to get 1 billion net worth, so I mean... Oh, Android's coming out now. All right, so all the water's gone through there. As you can see, I'm just going to put it in a bowl, so then I'm not worried about it. And then one perfect cup of coffee. It's a beautiful thing. I finished my coffee education course.
Yeah, I obviously wasn't listening, but I was looking over and watching you make coffee.
Yeah, I feel like everyone is much better educated now.
Well, that's nice. That's. I don't know how Shop Titans went to coffee, but hey, I mean,
I don't either, but it happened, so